Joining us now from Dallas to respond to a week of harshly negative press is Trump spokeswoman Katrina Pearson. And you just heard some of my panelists say that, yes, he's gotten a lot of bad press this week, Donald Trump has, but some of it is justified because of his remarks about the Khan family, because of his not endorsing and then endorsing Paul Ryan. Would you concede that some portion of this onslaught is because of missteps on your candidate's part?
Well, what I would concede is that this is to be also expected after the convention. Howie, this is not new. In the last few cycles, we've seen the Democrats and the media take the opportunity for the first 2 weeks post-convention to essentially throw everything at the Republican candidate. They did it to John McCain. They did it to Mitt Romney. And this is no different, except we have a candidate that is going to fight back. And yes, there were opportunities where we could have done a little bit better this week, but at the same time, we expect that too. We are on the campaign trail working hard every day, trying to get our message out there, and sometimes it's not going to be perfect 24 hours. But I will tell you this, the media is not even trying to hide it at this point. Not just the WikiLeaks release showing that the Clinton campaign has been working directly with them, but even in an LA Times op-ed by Justin Raimondo, who talked about, he asked the question, why have the rules of journalism been rewritten? It's very obvious now, and the left is not even trying to hide it.
Let me play for you a little bit of Donald Trump at a rally yesterday in New Hampshire, and here's what he said about Hillary Clinton.
She is a totally unhinged person. She's unbalanced, and all you have to do is watch her, see her, read about her.
So I've been arguing that it's unfair for the media to be saying, is Trump crazy? Some of the pundits, at least. Is he unbalanced? Is he unhinged? Almost unhinged is a word Joe Scarborough used. But if your candidate is using language like that about Hillary Clinton, then it doesn't seem like quite the outrage that it might otherwise be.
Well, I think it's the differences between the two campaigns talking about each other rather than the media helping the campaign with their narrative. And Mr. Trump has talked about some of the instances that the Secret Service has talked about that they have experienced with Hillary Clinton coming off the hinges, being enraged, scratching her husband, throwing vases, hearing things break in the White House. These are things that have actually happened and been reported by the Secret Service. The stories that are coming out about Mr. Trump are just fake. It's the same thing they did to Ronald Reagan by saying that he was crazy, he was unhinged, and we can't trust him with the nuclear codes, and he ended up winning by a landslide. The thing is, we cannot sit here and pretend that Donald Trump has not been out there in the public eye for nearly 4 decades and just all of a sudden he's unhinged and crazy and racist. That's not how it works, and the people know that.
I've got about half a minute. I'm glad that you conceded that everything did not go perfectly, which happens in presidential campaigns. But to the extent that you think that the media is piling on in a very unfair way, is it because they don't like Trump personally? Is it because they don't want Hillary to win? Is there just some deep-seated bias in your view?
There's absolutely a deep-seated bias, and it's been going on for quite some time. They're all left-leaning Democrats, and they've been protecting Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton for a very long time. Newsbusters released last week an article identifying 84 minutes on CNN's morning program contributed to the fake controversies of espionage, babies, and devils with regard to Mr. Trump, and only 27 seconds to the hostage payment to Iran. That is an absolute bias, and as I've said, they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
All right, well, I would only push back on the idea that every single journalist is left-leaning or against Trump, but there's been a lot of
not every single.
All right,
for the most
Katrina
part.
Pearson, great to see you. Thanks very much for coming on this Sunday.
Good to see you, too.